What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you live with a new comic book day haul and some pickups from the community. Thank you for watching, whether you're watching this live or on the rewind. I appreciate you. And in talking about people that I appreciate, we appreciate the ever-growing list of YouTube and Patreon channel members. And the channel members or supporters of the channel through those memberships. If you are interested in the benefits of either or both of those, the links are in the description below. And so check that out at your leisure. And we've got first up in the house, what to do, Pikachu. We got Soul twice up in the house. What is going on? How are you? And know that a lot of folks are going live right about now and into this evening. Just wanted to go live for just a short little period of time. Wanted to do a couple of things, not the least of which being the new comic book day and the box opening of new books that I have picked up from the community. And we will see how things go. All the way across the pond, we've got the Gray Man. What is going on, Gray Man? And so got this package in from Jiho. So we're going to be opening that up, which is a pretty big first appearance. And then we also got these new comic book day books. It was kind of a heavy week. I guess it was really not. This is the number of new books that I got. Potential Hot Comics. Hello, hello. We got not a very big stack, really. It was like $80-something, but you know, I did get boards and bags, and I also got 2 boxes, long boxes, and so really probably wasn't all that bad. All right, so let's see what kind of goodies we got. We got the Joker, number 4. Actually been enjoying this series. Obviously, right now, there are a lot of series concerning Bat and Bat-related titles. But this one does not disappoint. Actually, thinking of it, I really don't have one that is disappointing, which is really surprising. But Tynian's doing this. Jillian March is doing the art. There's a lot of awesome variant covers on these. I don't know about this particular issue, but I know on the other ones. And I went with this cover, just the A cover for Joker number 4. Really, it's more about Jim Gordon, but hey, Joker sells a lot more comics. Then I picked this up, and this because of Legion of Comics and others that had said, look, this looks interesting. And because Chip Zdarsky, when he puts his pen to something, it's probably going to be pretty good. So he's one of those writers that, hey, I'm going to give him a first pass just to give him a shot just because he's done so many good things. What is going on, Swap for Comics? Thanks for joining this afternoon. Everybody be sure to smash that like button while you're perusing these comic goodies. But this is Justice League Last Ride number 2, and this is the A cover. Yeah, A cover. I don't know if there's a B cover with this. More than likely there is, because why miss a good opportunity to just sell a cover and not the book? But I was really pleasantly surprised with the first one. I say pleasantly surprised. You know, I just said that Chip Zdarsky, I'm going to give him a first pass, and I was not disappointed. Maybe that's a better way to say it, because I'm not typically a Justice League guy. I don't get the regular Justice League title, haven't in the past. So to get that one, set up a pretty cool story. So we'll see how it goes. The Cover Collector, what is going on? How are you? Then we've got Rorschach number 9. Got the Matina cover on this particular one. Thought it was the coolest looking one. And been kind of disappointed with this series. I think it's probably one at the end of the day. This is issue 9. I think it goes 12 issues at the end of the day. I'm going to say, man, this thing really should have went 5. Tom King and Tom King form. Drawing things out a lot longer than what they needed to. I got it because I like the Rorschach character. Obviously, this is not the same one that was in Watchmen because he died. I say obviously. I mean, superheroes resurrect all the time, but Watchmen's more of a uh, play on that and superheroes to kind of tongue in cheek make fun of them. So yeah, he's not the original one. They haven't brought him back yet. He's still dead. This is several other people's. Not to spoil it for you if you haven't read it or if you want to read it. I just haven't been too thrilled about it. Then we got Geiger #3. This is Jeff Johns and Gary Franks. Yeah, Gary Frank on the art, and I haven't been disappointed. It's very early on, obviously. This is only issue #3, but I really liked the covers were awesome. The art was great, and I think it's setting up something good. The problem with newer stuff that it has to set up a story. And sometimes we, and especially me as readers, Ruben Guzman, man, what has been going on with you? Hopefully you've been okay, because I haven't been seeing you lately. Probably been pretty busy, as we all are. But when you're setting up a new world, there's certain things that you have to put in place, and people have to know about to kind of understand where the story is going. But some writers wax a little bit long on that and don't build it quick enough. I think that they were putting enough in there to keep you hungry, but trying to put enough backstory where you can kind of put the pieces together and understand where things are going to go. And eventually you'll have a origin issue or something like that to kind of flesh out some of the things that were hinted at and discussed, dropped, and that type of thing. But I think it's been paced really well. Jeff Johns as a writer typically does a good job if he's on time and all that. Oblivion Song #31. So I don't know if Robert Kirkman's just got too many irons in the fire now that he cannot keep up with all of the books that he's putting out and everything else that he's doing. But I know that Oblivion Song has been being released like every several months instead of every month. Let's see when the next one's available. So the next one is available in July. So maybe he's catching up. Issue 32 is available in July. But if you have not read Oblivion Song, I started with the trades and went back and got the floppies. But it is a pretty cool book. Robert Kirkman's another one of those that has so many hits, enough hits that I like, that I say, hey, I'm going to give this guy a shot. Hoarder's Hide, one of the channel members, what is going on? Full-wave flashers up in the house. How are you? We got 15 folks watching. Man, I appreciate that. But with the Oblivion Song, so basically this guy has this device and he accidentally transports this Oblivion, a part of it, and it trades places with the part of the city. And his brother was lost in there, so he goes in there and he keeps going back and forth, risking his life, going back and forth into Oblivion to try to rescue his brother. He finds out his brother's alive, so his brother's back. Well, now he's trapped, but then he gets back, and now the aliens are wanting to overcome this world, so they're transporting the rest of Oblivion into this city. I don't remember if they listed it as New York or. And I know, like right here, they show where all the aliens are coming into the various different cities, but it is interesting. It's interesting. The Lorenzo de Felici is one of those Mike Mignola type, artist, but it works. It works. So I've been digging it. Check it out. Then we got Bounty Hunters #13. I typically have not been getting these unless it was just and not to say that this is not a really cool scene, but just certain scenes I've been getting of these scene variants that they've been doing. But the A cover of Bounty Hunters was like meh. The LCS had through this particular one, which is I guess the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm in there. And so Guess that's part of the logo. Yeah, and when Oblivion Song has been option, as a lot of indie stuff has, but he's got so much still going on with The Walking Dead. Now you got Invincible that's doing something. What's one of his other titles? Oh, he's got Firepower. It's not been optioned yet, but that's another series that he's doing. So he's got a lot of good stuff going on. But the Bounty Hunters, this is Bounty Hunters title that is tying into War of the Bounty Hunters. And so far, so good on the War of the Bounty Hunters. Is really just beginning. There was a lot of lead up to that. So we will see if it leads up to or stays with the hype of it or not. Then we've got X-Men number 21. This is just the A cover. I elected to go with these. I don't like the Hellfire Gala stuff. Copy 801. What's up? What's up? One of the latest victims to Squatchy's comic book tirades. I saw you as the victim in Squatchy's comic the other day. And so this is X-Men, the main title. I have not been really thrilled with most of the storyline in the Dawn of X. Now they're releasing that after this, you're going to have Inferno, which, of course, if you remember the days in the 80s where you had Inferno, if they're going to go back to that, I think Krakoa is going to go away. But they said that essentially Inferno was the climax or the end point that Hickman wanted to get from going from House of X Powers of 10. So if you remember reading Powers of 10, that there was some mention about the Sentinels. We saw in the last issue of X-Men the Sentinel come back, and also the Phalanx. There's been hints of that with Douglock dropping the little Phalanx on the leaves and stuff. So I think the poop's about to hit the proverbial fan. We've got the Comic Forge up in the house. What is going on? So I think the poop's about to hit the fan after all this garbage with the Hellfire Gala is over with. So we're just going to soldier through at least the main X-Men title. American Vampire, 1976. This is one of those titles. Again, Scott Snyder, one of those writers that I'm going to give a first pass to. And I keep telling myself, Jason, go back and get the original American Vampire. You would be able to understand it a lot better. I can kind of trip along in the storyline. I don't really need to know all the backstory to kind of get the friction, if you will, between the characters. They would probably understand it a lot better, but it's been okay. It's a Black Label book. It's on book 9. I want to say that means it's going to be going to 12. I don't know that for a fact. Let me know in the comments or in the comments down below if you know whether or not that to be the case. Yeah, I saw that. So, hey, the next spec right there. Better get your copies while you can. Get Kevin Feige to sign them and everything. Then we've got Batman Urban Legends number 4. As I mentioned earlier, Batman has been getting a multitude of titles, and I guess you could say that it makes sense, right? Batman being probably the most popular DC character, certainly one that can turn some books, and so why not take that dude and oversaturate your fan base with him? But usually in the past, when companies have done that, like with Wolverine or Deadpool, they just start throwing so much stuff that is complete garbage. That's why I've been pleasantly surprised with all these Batman titles, because I haven't really run into any that were just pure out garbage. It's like, okay, I could have done without this. These Batman Urban Legends, it's a bunch of short stories. One of them is the Chip Zdarsky Red Hood story, which I really like the interaction between him and Batman. You can kind of feel Batman's pain. What is going on? We want the funk. What the funk is going on here? That's right. Funk Comics 814, one of the channel members up in the house, dropping the super chat. And for that, my friend, we're going to have to make it rain in the right direction. So thank you for showing up and dropping that super chat. Talking about super chats, I guess this is a good segue for anyone who is a channel member, which Funk Comics and I think Hoarder Hyde was the only other one that I saw that was in here. The channel members, whether YouTube or a Patreon channel member, you get 10 chances to win, automatically 10 chances to win this book right here, this ASM newsstand copy of 300, ASM 300 that is. And that's 10 chances to win. The other way that you can enter to win is doing super chats, just like Funk Comics did, because for every $1 super chat, you get one entry to win that, and that's for the month of June. So at the end of June, we're going to tally all that up, and we will spin the wheel and see who wins it. So yeah, it's a pretty nice book. If you followed the story of that book, me buying it as a PGX slab, cracking it and sending it to CBCS, you know that I didn't press it. Yeah, I see what you did there, Funk. I see what you did there. But yeah, so if you follow the story, you know that I did not press it. So could possibly be a 6.5. I don't know, unless you send it back to PGX, obviously, or if you send it to CGC and you caught them on a good day, you might could get a little bit better than what I got on that book right there. So, but Batman Urban Legends, nice read. I hate forking out the money for these sticker books, but if I'm getting several good reads out of it, like several good stories going on in it, I was like, oh, okay. Then we got Batman the Detective, another Batman story going on with Andy Kubert on the art, with Tom Taylor at the helm. I think it's Andy. Yeah, it's Andy. I get Andy and Adam mixed up. But so basically a tale where these people are killing the people that Batman has rescued. I'm sure they're going to explain why they're doing that. What's their beef with Batman and the people that he saves. Thus far, thus good. It is only a 6-part miniseries, which I'm sure there will be a follow-up one if it sells enough, or if because it's kind of like a Elseworlds type deal. It's not our Batman in the current main line universe. It is an older Batman. So been pretty good, which Tom Taylor, he's getting there for me. I'm not quite there yet because there's a couple of titles I wasn't really thrilled with that Tom Taylor has done in the past, but Deceased was great. So yeah, we'll see. Then we get Detective Comics 1037, the Lee Bermejo cover. I've been electing to just pick the one, whereas initially I've been getting the A and the B covers for Detective Comics. Been doing the same thing with the Batman title. However, DC, what you thought to gain with the $1 per book price hike, you lost when I didn't pay anything for it. So $4.99 is better than no 99. Just saying, DC. How many other people were like me that dropped it? Then we got Future State Gotham. Oh, yeah, for sure. We got Future State. Yeah, Batman's got a lot going on. He's a really busy guy. Now, how he leads the nightlife and does all that he does is one ever guess. You know why he can do that? Because he's Batman. So then we've got Future State Gotham #2. Enjoyed the first one. It's kind of a little different because it's black and white. Let me see if this one, I'm assuming probably is. Yeah, it's all black and white. There's another story that's in here too. And I'm trying to remember, the other one, it was like, okay, the last one. Haven't been a big fan of John Ridley's writing. He just hasn't won me over yet. Not that he has to. I'm sure he's got other people that people love him, and that's fine too. But this very anime type, which I'm not an anime reader by any means, but I mean that's what it reminds me of. The vibes I get from the art. Josh Williamson is doing the writing, which Josh Williamson did some good stuff with Flash. And I'm a Red Hood fan. I'm a Red Hood fan, so there you go. There you go. So does that pull list look like your pull list? Let me know in the comments if you've been picking up or if there's something I need to pick up. You know, basically with the Marvel, DC, Valiant, for what little Valiant's putting out these days, you know, everybody, I get that. You know, it's very easy to see it's out there. It's just the indie stuff, the Image stuff, even Image. Is Image really indie anymore? I mean, do we classify everything that's not Marvel and DC as indie? Is that it? Really, that would mean you're independent. So maybe Image counts. I don't know. But what I'm getting at was a lot of times I miss out on some good stuff and I have to go back and pick it up, like the AWA Upshot stuff or the Mag Cave stuff and things like that. Gray Man says, no pull list. Well, you know, you live a lot cheaper life that way. Always worry about Batman's mental health. Don't we all? Burke thinks Marvel is indie. Well, Burke is been taken over by Rita Repulsa because there's no way that Marvel's indie for sure. So I picked these books up from Jiho. What's going on, Pocan Joe? He was doing a review just early on his channel. I just had me an awkward sip of coffee not too long ago, so hopefully you were doing well. Look at that. Jiho. What you got going on? And then he taped it. I guess he wanted it to do that little number there. Okay, well, Jiho sent me all his bathroom reading material. Let's see what we got here. Dang. Usually Jiho always bids, if you've ever watched Stevie B up in the house, hashtag Stevie B Valiant up in this place, aka Rude Planet. I mean, actually he's, you know, impersonating Rude Planet. I would be upset if Stevie impersonated it. Let's see. It's identity theft or something, right? So these are all the coupons to your local grocery store, or at least Jiho's local grocery store. Jiho, if you follow Jiho in the chats for the auctions, a lot of times he'll bid and say, and a pack of soy sauce or 2 packs of mustard or whatever. So he's the condiment king. We got C-Link up in the house. What is going on? How are you doing? Hey, or Clink, rather. Clink, check that out. What you think about that? I did that unboxing the other day. Rude loved it. So, Jiho was on my channel doing the Saturday morning cartoon crew this past Saturday. And so I don't know if this came yesterday after I left or came today. So either way, kind of tells you that maybe the mail is getting back to some normalcy. I hate to say that. As sure as I say it, then things are going to fall apart again. But he lives in California. And California is a long way from Mississippi. Hey, Stevie B, I know you live in Arkansas. So are you on the side of Arkansas that's closer to Memphis? Or are you on the other side of Arkansas? Closer to Missouri, or I guess the other side. Texas, maybe. Texarkana, that side. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jiho threw a little extra in there for me. We got 11 folks in the house. Hopefully everybody smashed that like button. Keep these. All right. Still out of crawl. They got pipe sunshine in Arkansas, don't they? I mean, do they have running water there? Of course, I'm joking. All right. This was the big book that he had put up, and I kind of let things go and kind of thought about it. And I was like, I don't think that's a first appearance of somebody. So I went back, decided to pick it up, and that is Star Wars Jedi Mace Windu. This is from Dark Horse Comics back in 2003. Doesn't seem like that long ago, but good grief, that's been what, 18 years? Oof. So this is old Mace, and it's an 8.5, and it's the first appearance of Asajj Ventress in comics. I was trying to see what caused it to get smacked with an 8.5. Okay, it looks like that corner down there got a little ding. Huh. The only thing that I can really see. Oh, okay. You're up there by Fort Smith then. Yeah, so you're up there about Fort Smith, up that way. I got you. Um, but yeah, so there's, and it goes almost all the way around. That's the only thing I really see with this book. I don't. It's kind of wavy. Maybe they dinged it for that. They thought it's kind of vicious for a modern book that looked this good. I mean, I don't even see a single spine tick on this thing. Fayetteville. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know where's you be. Well, if you were closer to Memphis, I was going to ask you, had you ever been to that West Memphis comic shop? Yeah, it's got to be the corners because it sure is not. That spine's, ooh, that spine's so clean. So I don't know if it was Jiho or whoever he bought it from had sent this in, but I imagine they were pretty disappointed when they got this book back at an 8.5, looking the way it does. All right. Well, that's the first appearance of Asajj Ventress, which, of course, Clone Wars made. Yeah, they probably did. Oops. Just like they're supposed to go upside down, right? Then we got, he threw this one in, the Puppet Master #1 from Full Moon Entertainment. Not recommended for mature readers, or recommended for mature readers, not for children. So, Stevie, you cannot read this, okay? And then he threw this one up, and I had to do my homework on it too, and it got passed over. And this is Daredevil #52. So some 12-cent goodness right here. I'm not a huge Daredevil fan, so it's not the fact that it's early Daredevil, or even the fact that it's 12 center. This is why, because what's up, comic collector? What's going on, Tim? Up in the house. I just bought Red Room. Yeah, you're in trouble then, Stevie. They're going to call the Comic Code Authority on you. Is this over here Barry Smith or Barry Windsor Smith? And so I pick up Barry Windsor Smith art. I like his style, whether it's Rune, which Stevie would equate, even though it's Malibu, would equate with Valiant, as far as being dollar bin fodder. He also did, of course, some killer covers for Valiant, and then X-Men, and so on and so forth. He has recently released a book called Monsters. If you haven't already, 6 hours from everything. Yeah, I told you had a pipe sunshine in. He recently done a book called Monsters. It's like a big old thick book, graphic novel, hardback. So check it out on Amazon if you hadn't already. If you're a fan of Barry Windsor Smith, or if you're not, but in particular if you are. Of course, his Conan work. I collect his Conan stuff. Malibu was way better than Valiant. Stevie, do you read your comics or you just look at the pictures? I mean, come on. so, yeah, so you got some Black Panther action going on here with Daredevil, so pretty nice. And it is a white cover, and it is fairly clean for a 12 center white cover. Some great panel work here for Black Panther action there. So pick that up. Sometimes you never can tell on an auction. You'll get an auction where nobody wants to buy DC, or you'll get an auction where everybody wants Silver Age, or nobody wants anything but modern. Oh, is Vertigo really independent? It was owned by DC. I mean, you know. Well, and the thing about it is with indie stuff, the vast majority of it nowadays is horror, and so if you're not a horror fan, or you don't even think you might be a horror fan, you might as well not get a lot of the indie stuff because it's not as much superhero stuff. I guess they feel like the other ones have got the trademark on it. And, Image kind of pivoted from that. They started out as basically, Marvel and DC, superhero heavy. But they pivoted from that, and they've got the kind of the off the wall books now. Of course, Kirkman puts out a lot of different stuff, and very Ice Cream Man's an Image book, so they got their fair share of horror as well. But like AW8 Upshot, now that does have like a superhero universe. I think they're trying to put a connected universe together with that one, which seems pretty interesting. That is not always true. Not always true. Independent enough. Well, if we all were honest with it, look, I pay enough. Well, and so Mirage, so my Turtle run, I guess that's all independent. Well, yeah, what I meant by that was if you go back to was it Calico? Was that the Neil Adams like creator owned company? A lot of that was all superhero stuff. The indie stuff that I remember back in the day was basically just trying to do the same formula that had worked for Marvel and DC, and that was to do superheroes, which Marvel and DC had their fair share of horror as well, horror titles, especially back in the 70s, which was pretty good. But yeah, so all those indie titles, they folded and went about their separate ways. Of course, Malibu's owned by Marvel. I don't think Marvel's not going to, I guess they'll get around. They got so many characters. Why use what they got, or the Malibu stuff, like Night Mask and all those type people. But sometimes me at least, you get into the mood for something aside from a superhero stuff. I guess that's where like Walking Dead, or I just showed it a while ago, Oblivion Song, stuff like that. Yeah, I know, right? Marvel's not going to admit to nothing. There you go. Hey, Neil Adams will sign it. He'll charge you a lot, but he will sign it. And trust me, he will sign it. He don't mind putting a signature out there, and he'll let you know how important he is. Which, not to take anything away from Neil Adams, I mean, he's done some great work. I mean, early X-Men stuff, like introduction of Havoc, or even into obviously Batman in Detective Comics is crucial. But whatever. Then he was selling on IG for a lot more. Yeah. Put the cat on IG, Miss Kitty, meow meow meow, and let her rip. But yeah, so sometimes you get out of the mood for at least I do, superhero stuff, and you have to go move to something else. Try to, and I guess it would be a lot better off if I was one of those one track guys. If like I only collected this one character, or only collected this one or two titles, it would narrow my focus down a lot more. Wouldn't have near as many comic books. My problem is that a lot of the Valiant stuff, obviously that my X-Men, Batman, Wolverine, the Turtle stuff. It takes a bunch of room, bunch of room. Of course, in Tim's comic room, I don't know how big your comic room is, Tim, but with all them toys and stuff like that you got, one day Tim's going to be in there. He's going to be like, yeah, I was reading this DC comic the other day, and then we're going to hear this ruffle, and all of a sudden all those boxes and toys are all going to fall on Tim, and we're going to witness the death of Tim live on YouTube. It's like, it was Stevie B. It was Stevie B. Be like Lee Harvey Oswald. It wasn't me. It was the FBI. You saw what I did there? I got a copy of Have You Promised Me Darkness, but I sold it before I read it. It's just my closet. Foo says the same thing. Foo has a lot of boxes. You really like if you just get like that backdrop, like kind of like with mine here, you'd say, "Oh, that's a professional office." Well, that's what I want you to think. So when I have my professional stuff for work, this is what they see. But the rest of it's like nerded out, and I'm running out of room. It's actually starting to get to me. I'm not OCD like my wife, but it's like really getting to me. I used to have short boxes up there until food made me nervous. I always used to go with long boxes, and because I don't like to separate the collections needlessly with a lot of different boxes. The problem is, as you get older, those boxes come harder and harder to lift. But then the second problem is why I started going back to long boxes is because with me stacking them up the way I did, I can't stack them as deep and be able to still access them doing it that way, because you would have an inaccessible box unless you pull the box out in front of it, and then that kind of removes the need for it. So, Tim, these are figures that you can get behind. So typically on my figures, I will get these. I'll keep them on my desk for a little while just so I can enjoy them or whatever. Of course, he has the attachment. This is the Batman from Batman Dark Knight, whatever. And he's the cyborg type Batman. And then also the Green Lantern Batman. Oh yeah, I hate splitting runs up. And of course, when you get like collecting a big run, like with my Uncanny X-Men or my Batman stuff, you can't help it. But yeah, I hate doing that. Doing that for sure. But anyway, well, folks, I'm 39 minutes in, and that is all that I have, I think. Oh, Tim, you might already have one of these, but I saw this on IG. I'm going to unbox it and see what's what. But I saw this on IG, and what this is, Stevie probably has one for his nail polish, but this is a nail polish organizer, and you flip it upside down. Once you do it, you flip or build it, you flip it upside down, and you layer stack your figures. So instead of stacking figures like behind each other, you kind of like bleachers, right? So I'm going to try that out and see how that works. I don't know how wide, once you turn it over, how wide those steps are, if they're going to be wide enough to house those DC stands that they got. But maybe with them side by side or shoulder to shoulder, shoulder behind shoulder, that they would stand upright without the stands. Because the McFarlane figures, I will give them this versus the Marvel Legends figures. They tend to stand up better. They just seem to be made better. But I always like having that stand just so it says the guy who actually bought a nail polish holder. What was funny was I told my wife, she was half asleep. I said, I just bought a nail polish holder. She's like, whatever, you know. So when it comes in from Amazon, she goes, your nail polish holder organizer's here. Yeah, don't let that get out, right? But anyway, having said all that, remember about this month's giveaway, the ASM 300 newsstand copy. If you're I guess that's the good and bad to being a thicker, stronger figure. Is the good of it is that it feels better, but you can't pose them as well. I know it hurts to try to pose that death metal Batman because of the spikes in his wrist. It's like, ow. We got Hidden Gem Comics up in here. What is going on, Hidden Gem Comics? So this month's giveaway. What you got to do to enter to win? Be a channel member or a Patreon member. Get 10 chances to enter to win. For every $1 super chat, you get 1 entry to win. Anytime during the month of June in a live show or premiere, you can do a super chat and you can join at any time, the channel or Patreon. You can join at any time. But as far as the super chat, it is only during live shows or premieres that you can do those. So I do appreciate everybody. While everybody's here, it's always good to save some money. Stevie B is going to need some extra money to get some extra nail polish remover because I don't know what he's going to do after he mimicked Rude Planet. There's no telling who else that he's going to mimic next. So if it's Stevette, he might need to save some money. And one of the ways he can save money and everybody else can save money is visiting bcwsupplies.com for their comic book backing boards and collection, whether it's cards, vinyl records, etc. Supply needs. Use the coupon code SCG at checkout and save 10% on your order. Also, again, a special shout out to all of the ever-growing list of YouTube and Patreon channel members. And so be sure to check out the links in the video description below if you're interested in all the various benefits for those. And I see what you said, Stevie. It might be me. I thought about, to be honest, full transparency. I thought about doing a Stevie B video. So just know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And that's what I know. And so I said, no, I'm not going to do that because Stevie might try to be like, do one on me. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But if Stevie does one, it's fair game. The gauntlet has been cast. It will be fair game, my friend. So there you go. And also, full disclosure, Stevie B, I got some comics that are going to be coming. I got something coming your way. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know. Somebody sent me something to send to you. So just saying. Just saying. I thought about sending you some Valiant stuff, but I can't bear the idea of you tearing. I mean, every time a comic is torn, Angel loses its wings and my heart is crushed. Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. But anyway. Again, thanks y'all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Yeah, right? It's like, okay, whatever. Everybody else does it. Who cares at this point? But hopefully everybody has a great rest of your day. Got out to the comic shop yesterday or today, or at least by tomorrow to get those new comic books or new to you comic books. Maybe getting some in the mail. Let me know down below what you're picking up. And until next time, folks, well, I need a good excuse to use this. So here we go.
Let me know when you're rolling. Ready. A Sword of Omens tells me that you're watching Southern Comic Geek. Thundercats. Ho!
Till next time, keep reading, keep collecting. Adios.